YouTube, hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey YouTube. Hey YouTube, PhatPastor here, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. Welcome to all of you FPV freaks out there and RC enthusiasts and just online friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Thursday Night Live. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about whoops and something that's important, especially in UDL, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to fix it, so we're going to try to flesh it out and work through it right here on the chat. I just popped the chat out. I know there's a lot before this, but Mr. I Am Gross, happy Fat Thursday. Yes, Fat Thursday. Yes, that it is. That it is. Let me see here. First was Miss Octavia Swan, then we had FPV Gaps and Mr. DJ Lee, McFlies, and I Am Gross. Those are the early people here. McFly says, like the new countdown. Thank you. Thank you. I wanted something a little bit different. Kind of showcases a little bit about what we're doing, but as usual, I had a whole lot more stuff I wanted to put in there than I. A lot of it didn't make the cutting room floor, but other than that, it is good. Let me see if let me turn on Jarvis, and sorry that I missed Tuesday. I was afraid that it was going to happen to me today. It's just been such a crazy week. All right, Jarvis is working, but I need to. YouTube did its thing where it's. I got to pop the chat back out again. pop it back in. First you got to pop it in, and then you got to take it back out. So now let me see if that is going to update my feature chat. Hello, chat. There. No, come on. Nope. What? No. I don't know why I keep doing it, but I keep turning the newer version of this. I guess it's where the place that I've got it. It's so easy to turn it off. That was me again. That was not YouTube. Let's see. Hello, chat. One more time. I've got to put that somewhere else on the docking bar. No. Why are you not working? Did I change something? It was just working. Well, do I pop it out back in again? Probably not, since I did that up. One of these days, I might learn how to live stream, guys. What do you think? You got faith in me? Think I'll learn it? I don't know. Come on, populate. There we go, IDK. All right, that's what I needed to see. Oh, I see what it's doing. I have to leave it open. Running. Okay. Okay. Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you. What? Let me pin it. Okay. You just stay right there. Just stay right there. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I think it will. I think it'll work. Please work. All right. No. Why? What? Well, yeah, I'm glad y'all are here for my errors. Again, I literally just walked in the door about 15, 20 minutes ago. I need to do better. I need to do better, but I'm so busy. I just run like a chicken with my head cut off all the time. So, it didn't do it. So, I keep saying I need to find another one, and this one, I did find a newer version of the same thing, and keep having the same issues. Alright. Well, it looks like the copy. Who knows, guys? Who knows? Tonight, what I want to talk about, feature chat. Let me see. Properties. I want to talk about crash flip and some other things. You guys probably want to talk about some DJI stuff and what's going on in the news with that. And I'm all right with that. Let's try this one more time, and then I'll just have to just go on without it. Help. Come on. Come on. Populate. Populate. No. Nope, it didn't. Don't know what it did. So, well, see, that's working. So why's feature chat? the chat not working? Doesn't make sense. It didn't change anything. I don't know. I don't know. I just throw things together and hope that it sticks. Usually it does, but nah, the chat thing has been a pain in my butt for a while. So, got to be in developer mode for that. That's not good. Options. No, I'm trying to figure out how to pin it. So when it's not wanting to stay pinned, and whenever it comes unpinned, it turns itself off. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, we're gonna move on. I'll just look at the. How's it going, Skydozer? How's it going, buddy? Ouch! It's cold. Ice. I did see the emojis flying around, so I mean that part of it's working. At least it was. But if TFO Media, how's it going? Okay, if you had a choice, DJI Goggles V2 or Goggles 2 or DJI Goggles Integra, which one would you choose? Chat, what do you think? Goggle, I agree with Skydozer. Goggles 3 would be my choice. How's it going, Mr. McShaky? Just here to say hi and bye. Feeling sick. Yeah, I've been there, brother. I've been there. I know what you're going through, man. Know what you're going through, or similar. Been there. Been there. Yeah, I think if you're going to go as far as to get the goggles Integra, my opinion is go ahead and get the goggles 3. Well, also too, it's going to be hard to find anything new. Last I heard that DJI is not even selling action cameras. This is their newest action camera that they've got. They're not even selling that. To the U.S. So I don't know. It would be. It's just like it. As soon as I invest in DJI, I got the goggles 3, and all of that, and no, you're just not going to work, are you, chat? That's okay. I'll just look at the YouTube chat. So let me just do this for right now. Copy, so it'll put it up over here, and I won't be able to use feature chat, but that'll be okay. But I'll be able to see it. Paste. Okay. Well. Yep. I've barely used my pair of goggles 2. I've barely used my goggles 3. I mean, but well, I have used my new HDzero goggles a lot more, but not as much as I want to. So Yeah, the chat's going to look a little different on the screen. But, it was showing up on the screen. Correct? Copy. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know. Now I've lost my other chat. I will get to the point here in just a little bit, guys, of what I intend to talk about tonight. And as long as Jarvis is working, because I want to be able to hear you guys. Oh, pop out chat. Try that one more time. Let's see if it populates on the screen. No, it's not, is it? So I saw your message, Skip. No, okay, I got you. We'll do it this way. At least I'm learning how the other ways to get something up and going when Chrome or Google decides it's going to lay down on me. There we go. We have that chat. I don't know how clear it's going to look to you guys, but there it is. All right. So the plan tonight was I'll answer your questions, and if you would put exclamation point, and then space, whatever you want to say, then Jarvis will read it to you, and that will catch my attention. All right, there we go. So, yeah, yeah, Chrome is just, I don't know. I like to, I stream from a Mac, M2 Mac Mini, and the most of the feature chat stuff that I like, it doesn't work on a Mac. So now see, that's popping up. That emoji, that's not supposed to. If that works, then the chat's supposed to be working, but I don't know why it's not. I'll have to go through and test it all later. So, yeah. But anyway, what were we talking about? It's so easy for me to get distracted.
I wasn't talking to you, Deeds. I was talking to that squirrel over there.
Oh.
So, yeah, the squirrel. I don't know if you can even read the chat. It's hard for me to see it in that. So, but I got it popped up in another window. FTL Media should. FTL Media, you should put your chat window in the live chat. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've got it there. No, I use a software called Social Stream Ninja. I think it's what it's called. Stream Ninja Chat Doc, and it puts the chat, and it does where I can do feature chat like this. This shows that it was working at the beginning, and something just happened at the middle of, right after I undocked it. It's now hosed. so that gives me, like with what Raymond just popped on and said, gentlemen, I could click on that and it would put it on the screen, but it's not doing it right now. So I've got to set that back up once again. No doubt there was an update or something. It always happens, and I uh, did not have time to fully test everything on the stream before the stream started. So yes, it is. It is what it is tonight. It's what it's going to be. So yeah, I mean, it sounds to me. I think it was Mads Tech that was saying that he believes that, or he's heard that, this is just an all-out ban from DJI to the U.S. market, or from the CCP is telling them to do it. Either way, it's the same thing. So my feature chat and my emojis are working because the emojis should fly around the screen. Yeah, like that. The little hand. And that is all part of Social Stream Ninja. We're just getting it into the dockable chat here. I don't know why it's not working. And let me see. And I don't know. We can try that. Let's see how it works. Anyway, so that sucks. That's really not good for DJI pilots here. I know that a lot of people in the racing world have just started talking about getting the Cosmo streamer and things like that, and starting to let DJI into some races and things like that. And so it's just a tough time. And the if it were me, the I don't the Integras, they don't have the diopter adjustments, do they? That's one thing they don't have, right? They just have the fixed. Um, you can do your IPD, but that's about it. That's one of the things that kept me away from DJI for a long time, is my eyesight. I couldn't see, and then the Goggles 3 has the diopter adjustments on it, and I'm able to get it pretty good from that. So yeah, it's I like it. I bought the Neo, and I got it. I got the controller that lets you do FPV with it. Whatever. I don't like how DJI does their naming. They got the goggles and the goggles 2, and then the goggles V2, and then just name stuff differently. You know, so, like the goggles 2 and the goggles V2. That's just crazy for them to be separate, totally different goggles. And but anyway, I digress. I digress. It's I don't know, FTFO. I don't know. I don't think they do. I might be wrong. I tried on a pair of goggles. The goggles V2, whichever one was after goggles 2 or V2, the second one of those. It does have diopter adjustments on it, but it didn't go far enough for it to look good, in my opinion. And still, even with I've got the I've got this out to do some testing, but it's going to take me a while, guys. I've got the Mobula 704. It's got the DJI 04 in it, light, whatever that's called. And I'm testing it against the HDzero one, and well, right here, this is how many packs that I've got to fly between the two of them, and a week and a half. So it's just been very, very busy with my daytime job, and so I'm sorry that it causes the stream to hurt and causes that to lag, but I'm glad you guys are here. And tonight, what I intend to do, if anybody heard from June Loco on his spider bite? If he pops on tonight, help me to remember to ask him how that's going. Oh, I didn't let the video play till it got to the I picked a bad week to quit sniffing glue. All right, let's see. I am crooked. Oh, that chat is big. Can y'all read that chat at all? Let's move it up here for tonight. Oh, let's put it right there. And see, the tip jar came well. I don't even know how that works. Don't have a clue with it. It popped up in the new in the new version, and I have it turned off. I don't even know where it's at. There it is. Okay. All right. So that's what we'll do. Well, goodness, we only got like a little bit of the screen. But anyway, here's the plan. Skip said he sent a photo. Maybe it wasn't on Discord. Oh no, he just sent me a photo. Oh, I got you. I got you. Edited with AI. It looks funky, man. You look funky. That's all I'm gonna say is it looks funky. That looks like your father, or it's a lot older than what you are. So that AI is some crazy stuff, isn't it, guys? There we go. Gotta get my phone charging. All right, my plan. Back to the story. What do I got up over my face over there? What? Oh, that's that other thing that popped up. Like, keeps up with who chats the most. Think that's how it goes. All right, let me turn that. I don't even know what it is, but wow, this is a snozberry stream right here. I'm telling you, it is a snozberry stream.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Leaderboard, that's what it's called. All right, yeah, this is a snozberry stream for sure tonight. All right, but maybe we'll get around to getting everything worked out. And let me turn these red lines of this chat off. There we go. All right, here's the problem that I've had. If you noticed in the intro, I do a lot of racing indoors. Carpet at church is not a problem, but when I go to one of the gymnasiums that we race at, sometimes these are my primary racers. This is a 533 build, HDzero AIO, and this is my OG go-to. I just fly it so much better. It's heavier and all of that, but the problem that I have with both of these is I race a lot on slick floors, and or sometimes at church, if you land where the back of the pew and the seat of the pew come together and the quad goes right off in that, it's very hard to turtle mode out of that. So I did this a long time ago, and because I race primarily on carpet, didn't have to do it a lot anymore. They they will slide around. I saw this at IO when we were in the red hangar. There was a lot of people that once they got on their lid, and because of that smooth concrete floor in there, the quad wouldn't do anything but just slide around. And what you need to do in that is you need to go into beta flight, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do tonight is to go into beta flight and turn your crash flip way up. That's what um, what I have planned to do. So come on, here, where you at? There we go. Beta flight starting to load. And okay, I can't read that chat, so I've got to pull up this. There we go. All right. So let me switch to if the Integras have that, I'm not aware of it. FTFO. Sorry, I'm not trying to disregard your question. I just don't know. So let's see. Let's go to the Discord. There we are. All right. So, what you used to have to do back in the day, back when I did it before, this was and I've not tried to use beta flight since everything has went to the this is 1010. That's it's up on the screen here. So we'll see if it works. Hopefully it will work, and I can do what I'm wanting to do tonight. I gotta get to my cord first. There it is. And we used to have to go into CLI, and I have closed my chat window again. Where are you, chat window? There you are. Let me put you down here. That way, if I want to look at you, I just click the button. So, yes, please do the whole Jarvis thing if you can. And while I'm fumbling with this cord, take all of your aggression out on that like button for me if you would. Doesn't cost you anything. If you don't like my big fat ugly head, then hit the down. Hit the dislike and tell me what it is you dislike about the channel and what I could do better besides I mean, you could save your breath a little bit on
8-bit underscore. I licked the like aggressively.
All right. Lick it. Okay, so let's go in to the C to the L to the I and type get. Let's see what it says when I say crash, because that might pull up crash recovery. What? Get. 8-bit. How long have you been a member now, 8-bit? How many months? 24 months, 2 years. Moving on up. This is your 2-year anniversary, man. Thank you so much for being a member of the channel that long, and your support. It really, really helps. It'd help if I spelt crash right too, wouldn't it? That's probably the problem. I might have to get a fan. I know I'm going to have to get a fan. Let me grab my bench fan.
Insane!
Thank you for the super chat. Whoever that was. 8-bit donated 505. I think it was a $5 super chat. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, brother. Means a lot. Means a lot. Every little bit helps with the effort around here. All right. Let's see what I can do. Here we go. Yes, I got my big fan set up tonight. It's my biggest fan. Boom. Got to keep these HDzero boards. This is an OG HDzero board, so you got to keep these things cool while you're messing around and beat a Floyd. You don't, you'll be burning them up. So let's go back into CLI and type get crash, right? Get crash delay, crash threshold, crash recovery. Let me see if that's on. Crash recovery is off on this. I need to turn it on. That's one thing I need to do. Copy that. And we'll go set. And then paste. Crash recover. Oh, space. Space. Crash recovery to on. And enter. All right. Let's say get flip. See what it is. It's been a long time since, yeah. Crash flip. Crash flip motor percent. Boom. That's what we want to look at. Okay. Hopefully you guys can read that. If you're not, get your bifocals out, because I have to wear my bifocals, so it happens to the best of us. All right. It says crash recovery. Okay, so we're in crash recovery angle. Crash recovery off. I thought I set that on. Crash flip motor percent. See this right here? Crash flip motor percent. It says 0. So let's see if we can still do this from CLI. I don't know if people do stuff from CLI much anymore. Set, and then we're going to paste what I just pulled out there. Set space. Set space crash flip motor percent. Let's go to 85%. See that the range is let me see, is this in the way? Is it actually, yeah, it's actually in the way. Give me a second. The chat right in the way. I'm just going to turn that, darken that chat out there. All right. So, see, it says the allowed range is from 0 to 100. You want to turn this up because you want this, you want your quad to violently flip over. If it's a race quad, now if this is a 65 or 75 millimeter that you're flying around outside, and you might be in grass and all this kind of might have obstructions, understand you turn it up high. I'd say you turn it up over 80%, and you got some kind of obstruction and it's not flipping over or whatever. Stop, because you will burn up an AIO. So, oh, you know what I didn't do before? When I did set the crash recovery, I hit enter, but I did not type save. You guys should have caught that. So now that is set. So let's type git crash again, and let's look at crash recovery. Enter. Oh, it is on. Okay. It is on. And crash recovery rate. I do need to change that. Need to set that to like 500. Usually about what your rates are. Full stick deflection. Set. How's it going, Tobias?
Tobias Yoda FPV.
All right. Set crash recovery rate. I never put that space bar in there. I'm going to set this up to let's just do it at 600. What that means is if you crash and you violently go into a spin or whatever faster than the rates of your stick, then it's going to automatically put your whoop, your quad error. Crash recovery rate. Oh. Allowed range is 50 to 255. Well, they've changed. Okay. Yeah, all of this is changed. Let's do that again. Copy this here. Yeah, I told you guys it's been a minute. It's been a while since I've messed with this stuff. Copy. Paste. Well, we don't want to do 600 because the limit range is from 50 to 255. Let's set it. So it was set to 100. Let's set it to 150. The default was. Let's go 125. We'll go up a little bit. And then save. All right. Now let's go in and type git crash and see if it. Just git crash in general. Boom. Okay. Now.
Can you make guacamole with beta flight?
I don't know. I don't know what guacamole. I mean, no. That doesn't have. You have to have avocados to make guacamole. So no, I don't have any. Just chilling, brother. Waiting on the laundry to finish. Was gonna fly the new fractal here, but my goggle pack is dead. Oh. It seems like every time I'm getting ready to fly, something comes up like that.
Oh, Quicksilver has avocado's winking face.
Oh, yeah. The old Quicksilver. Okay, see, all right. The crash limits, y'all. And the threshold, the set point threshold. That's probably a little low, but let me see. So crash recovery is on, and does it tell us what percent? We're at 85%. You see here, I did up the crash flip motors to 85%. Crash flip expo, yeah, it's good to have a little bit of expo on it, so you can bump it if you need to, and you don't have to go full all the way out. Maybe this crash G-force threshold. I'm gonna leave it like that and try it. Set point 350. Crash time. I think that's in milliseconds. Yeah, and this angle. I like to give it a little bit more than 10 degrees angle of recovery. I usually like to give it to about 20. And if you race a lot, especially whoops indoors, what set? I don't know what I did. I did something. I hit that space. Y'all saw that. Set crash recovery limit. Let's make it 20. That means it will recover it within 20 degrees of in your angle mode. So, and save. So, all right. Now this was the OG. This don't even have the newer versions of Beta Flight on it. I want to see what the 5-in-1 what it has on it. This is the 5-in-1 here from 533. It's a skip build. So let's go back to the screen, go into the C to the L to the I, and we're going to type get crash just again, because I want to set a couple things in it. I want to set the motor percentage, and I want to make sure that crash recovery is on, and it's not. I see that crash recovery is off on this one. I noticed that at I/O, that when I crashed, it went into a spin, and I don't like that. I like for it to. I don't fly at an angle, but I like to. Yeah, that's just going to keep that crash recovery on. On, enter. Now, what was the crash flip motor percent? Let's do that. Copy, and we'll go set. Watch it set space. Let's try Control V. What is it? No. What? No. Alright, there we go. Does if you do the thing. And I was at 85%. Alright, I want this thing to flip up. When I say flip over, I want it to flip over. Even if it risks burning up a motor or burning up an ESC. I'm not going to get crazy with it. Get crash. Okay. What else did we change? We changed the one that was 100. Crash recovery rate. I don't know if that's right. I think that's probably the one that I shouldn't have messed with. Let's set it to the same thing. It was 125, so they'll be set to the same. And if they both fly sucky, I'll know that I didn't change the right thing here. And I just made that 125. It's like it's a huge. It could be a big difference. I don't know. All right. And there we go. Now, pretty sure that this was going to go this way in the TinyWhoops, but I don't know how my UDL. I don't know if the UDL igniter will let you change stuff like that. I don't know. Crash set point. I think that might be it right there, but we'll see. It seems a little low. Threshold, or it's probably one of these two that I used to bring up to 500. But we will see. We can see here that we do have the motors at 85%, and crash recovery is on. So we got that working. So I think that unless you're like if you're like T-Dog or somebody that's just got lightning fast reflex, I don't see how that young man recovers like he does. And Shark, I'll watch these guys fly at IO, and the things that they are able to do, my brain don't even, I'm working on like a dual core here, and they're like on an 8 cores or something like that. And I just can't process that fast. So let's try UDL. Let's see what happens when we try the. Oh, I got my fan setting up on a case, because I've noticed it in the UDL also.
I am 8-bit.
How's it going, 8-bit? I am PhatPastor. And you know what? I may reflash this tonight. Take it off of the igniter. And I'll tell you why. We'll talk about that. Now, this weekend, we've got a race coming up in Knoxville that I'm going to be going to, and all. So this one here, I think it's this one. Nope, that's not the one. That's one of the ones I want to change. This one, I think I'm gonna take it back to the regular CAC. This is the one that. Let me grab a battery. This is my Popo one. This is like a custom build, I guess that's what you'd call it. I built it not as much for race. I don't race this. I don't think I've raced it but a couple times. This is more for fun. You can probably see it better up here. It's got the flashing lights on it like a police car. There it is. And this has igniter on it, and it is heavy and it don't fly real good. The thing about the igniter flash that I wish was different. I understand why it's it is the way that it is, but I wish that it was different. Is when you flash the igniter flash onto your UDL, you can't turn off the RPM limiter. And it does. If you want to take this outside, you want to go to a park, you want to fly this outside, or I like to fly this around the kids at church and my great nephews and stuff because it's colorful and flashy and all of that. Well, it's got the igniter flash on it, and you can't turn that off. The old UWL, you could, in your OSD, you could go in and turn off RPM limiter, just like you do on Street League or Pro Spec or something like that. You can't do that with the igniter series, and that's so people don't cheat. If people weren't cheating, and I flew a race one time and didn't even realize it. I think it was at least half of the race, if not all of the race. It was with this one here. This was built by 533, and we just flashed everything up to date. But it's got a TPU canopy on it, and I crashed real hard and pulled. This is it's got the old board in it, the separate VTX, and I pulled a MIPI cable apart. And during the race, Skip took it and changed it out for me. And I don't know if I did it. It's probably me. I don't know if it happened then or if it was that way the whole race. But we got done with the race, and the next night, Skip was reviewing DVR or something. I don't remember when it was. Or I was showing. Yeah, I think I was on a live stream showing my DVR. And he was like, go back to certain time limit. And when you see it, you can clearly see my OSD says RPM limit off. So I did have an unfair advantage in that race. But to all, and I think Skip and everybody that was racing with me know me well enough to know if I would have caught that during the race and would have been like, would have seen that I was actually racing with that off, I would have just DQ'd myself and said, that don't count. Whoever I beat, you won or whatever. So first, I want to check the git crash and all of that on the on my main UDL. This one flies good. I like a PhatWhoop, and I just don't say that with my with the sticker thing that I have. I don't like a very floaty whoop. I'm not that fast, so here it is. And it's a little heavy. I think it's about 3 grams heavier than this one. And this one's about a gram heavier than most people's, because again, let me show you some things. You're going to learn a few things about me. I don't know if you learn a few things of any consequence. Go to Bardwell's channel if you want to learn things with consequence, I guess, or importance. But here, I'll tell you what I think. Me personally, that's right. I do not like canopies like this. For one, you could probably see, I need to change that out. That's got some glue or something on it because it broke NIO. This frame broke NIO, and So this is destined for me to pull it out and put it on another frame, but I got something cool. You guys see, you probably used to, I don't know if you noticed, but sitting right up here, I had bottles of glow in the dark paint, kind of free-handed, and it looks like crap. Uh, Top view of a drone with the glow in the dark paint. I got a little airbrush I'm gonna take before our Southeast Micro Drone Championship, and I am going to take an airbrush and spray paint my frames with neon reactive paint. Hey, brother, we just talking about you. How in the world is your spider bite? Last that I heard from you, you was having some issues with a spider bite somewhere. But what I was saying also is I don't like these canopies. Yeah, that maybe that just comes from the '80s because I remember going to the skating rink and they would have, you know, oh, thank you. Type something again. I bet he is now. Type something up again. I can hear him. Uh,
Now he is in your head.
now he's
Hello.
now he's in everybody's head. What I was saying, I don't like these frames. I mean that camera mount. Why? It's lighter. It is, and a lot of people that are a whole lot better pilots and a lot faster than me prefer these. So I'm not saying that they're inferior. I'm saying that I don't particularly like them because, like I said again,
Thanks for being concerned. Marty.my spider bite is 90% healed.
good. I got some kind of bite on my arm. Don't know what it is, but it's. I drew a circle. My wife told me to draw a circle around it. We did with a regular ink pen. I took a shower. It's gone.
Are
But
your spidey senses acting up?
no. But I was able to climb the wall today. I just thought it was medication from having a kidney stone. But here's my thing. You're probably asking, well, if the faster pilots and better pilots like it, why do you not? That is good to hear, June. I'm glad that you're doing good, man. As I fly at church with,
Mosquitoes don't play nowadays. They can leave some whelps.
yeah, well, this is two like right beside each other. I don't know what it is. I don't normally react to even mosquito bites, but I fly either in gymnasiums or at church around hard wooden pews and metal.
Double tap.
Yeah, and yeah, I think you got me twice. And metal railings and stuff, and I've knocked chips
Always.
off of the board before. That's why if you look at even this one's resin. It's got a resin printed canopy on it. I want a canopy that protects my board from behind and all of that. So even if it costs me a gram or two, I don't like a floaty whoop. I like when I let off of the throttle, I want it to drop. That's why with this one, my main, I think this one's got 28,000 kV motors on it. I think that's what it is. I can't see it without changing glasses, but this should be crazy. And it is fast. It's every bit as fast as this one. This one's a little more floaty and I can make turns a little tighter, but this one, it drops. When I let off the throttle and I want it to drop through a dive gate, it drops like I want it to. So, that being said, that's why I go with the canopies that cover my whole entire electronics. I just That's just my preference, and you know. So, did I show you that one up close in that view? That that's why I'm gonna take igniter off of this one and just put regular cap
Don't you
on it.
seen that zombie movie? Always double tap. Maybe the mosquitoes have a drive-in special.
Yeah,
Drop it like it's hot.
yeah. That's the one with Bill Murray in it, isn't it? And Woody Harrelson. I forget the name of it. Having TBI
Yay.
day myself. All right, let's plug this up and see what everything turns on this one. And see the blue light of the VTX is on, and so I got to go quickly. CLI get crash. Boom. Crash recovery is on. The threshold, I set it to 400. All right, let's look at, see, crash motor percent. Crash flip motor percent is not any higher. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to set it to 85. I want this thing to, of course, I like PhatWhoops, but I want this thing, when I say crash flip, I want it to crash flip. 85. Save. I'm going to leave the crash recovery how I have it set, because it does pretty well on this. All right, so that one's ready to go. And maybe if time is permitting, which it looks like it because I'm rolling through this pretty quick, I'll hook it up to the radio and flip it over and see how it's different. You can see this one. This one's my other one. What is it with you and the red and the blue lights? I just like to mess with people. I'm seriously thinking about changing this color to, I don't know, maybe yellow or purple or something. Some color that, these are fully programmable, as you can see. So, and this has the 5-in-1. So the VTX is not on right now. It's not going to sit and cook. So let's go to get crash. Boom. Crash recovery is on. And let's see what the motor percentage, here we go. Yep. This is why they're not crash flipping or turtle moding like
How
they're
much weight
on.
does those LED add?
They're not heavy at all, man. It's well, for UDL they're mandatory. So and most people are trying, especially if they fly an analog, trying to get up to the 40 grams. I think on both sides, you're probably talking about a couple of grams, maybe. I don't know for sure. I got a pack of them, and let me get this set. I got a pack of them, we can weigh them. They're not very heavy. Bang and save. Oh, I hope I typed save on the last one. I'll pop it back in there and we'll see. But a good way to check is just go back in here and type get crash again.
40-gram whoop, oh no.
You have to, that is the minimum weight for the 75 millimeter for UDL. You have to at least be at 40 grams with a battery. That's all up weight. That's not dry weight with a 450 battery in it. Okay, so it did set the motor flip motor percentage to 85%. So, all right, we're good, and crash flip is on. So that one is good to go. Good to go. So, all right. Now, let me do the one that's going to take me a minute, and that would be my Popo one. Because I've got to make sure I got a good backup on it, and then I'm going to try to flash it backwards, removing the igniter off of it. One, I don't race this, and if I do, I will pull it out at a race sometimes and do a few practice laps or something like that. But for the most part, no, I don't race it. So let me back it up. Let me check this real quick, make sure I saved that. Before I move on, let's go back to the Discord screen. Probably didn't have it on that last time when I was sitting there talking to y'all about Get Crash and all of that. This one goes hot, got that blue light in there, which means that VTX is on. So that's the good thing that I like about these cases that I print. I can stick the nose of it down in it and set it in front of the fan, and it holds it in place where the fan will blow onto the VTX. So Get Crash. You're probably saying you already checked that, but yep, 85%. We're good. And there it is, and crash flip is on. Yep, so I did save it. There we are. All right, so we can just disconnect. All right, so my main two UDLs, which I'm going to go ahead and do the other one tonight too. I got a third one. But I've had some people ask me, say, well, why do you have 3 or 4 quads? I mean, it's not, and they ask me that when they see me fly, because it's not exactly like I'm flying balls to the wall and breaking stuff. The main reason is most races that I'm at, I'm running it or very busy in some capacity or another. And if I have a frame that breaks or something messes up on one quad, I don't have the time because I'm busy making sure the rest of the race goes off like it's supposed to. And that doesn't, I think that's the way I've got it wired up. I think I got the blue lights, the rotating lights. I think I've got it set up on the battery. Let's check. Well, there's no sense in doing Get Crash on this yet. Go to presets. Come on. Presets. Save backup. Popo HDzero. We'll call it Popo 2. No, that's U. Let's call this UDL. UDL. Popo, just regular Popo, not Popo 2. And I'll save that so we can go back to it. All right. Now, let's update firmware. Auto detect the board. Crazy beef. Oh, Oh, see, y'all supposed to be telling me. Don't have the right screen up. All I did was hit auto detect. Crazy beef, I want to go with the 4.4.2. I like this one better. I just do. Call me stupid. That's fine. Um, yep. All right. See, before you would come over here in this motor uh, protocol or pull request. No, I think it's in this. I don't even remember which one it is. Now, one of these you put igniter in, and I think it's this one. I think you just type in igniter, yeah, and um, so let's see if we can load firmware online and flash it. Ignore the risk because I just made a backup. Flash a risky. It's erasing. This is when you do not want to move the quad. If you've got a bad cable, then it could, you know, really break your crap and cause you a big headache. It's flashing. It's going to take it a minute, and hopefully I will be able to do a load backup, because it's basically the same version or the same build, if you will. All right, so let's apply custom defaults, and we'll close this, and we'll go to presets. We'll know if it worked when I load backup, and we called it UDL Popo. All right. Oh, did it not work? It may not have worked. Does not look like it worked. But I may be able to find, let me see if my modes are in here. No. So that didn't work. But I probably got a older version of Popo on here. Hopefully I do. Popo 1 UWL from February 13th. Let's do that. Now it's applying configuration. This is why you save all your old backups, guys, all your old presets. Now let's go into my ports. It's right. My modes should be set. Yep, my OSD is set. Yes. And now let's go in and see if git crash is good on it. Git crash. So that backup that we did, it wouldn't have let me go back. What did I do? Did I hit something else? Git. It wouldn't have let me go back had I not. Okay. Git flip. Okay. Wow. Crash flip because it's together. I don't know. Copy. Nope. Copied the wrong thing. I did. That was GAT. Oh, me. Copy. Set. Space. That. Let's make it 85. Boom. And save. Now, gonna try get crash also, but actually get space crash. What's spelling right? Get crash. What? Yeah, okay. Get crash threshold. Blah, 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 blah. Get crash recovery. It is on. All right. This and all of my other ones that it's already on, I up this to 125, but I'm gonna leave it seeing.
Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper.
How's it going?
Yo, good morning. What's
Apache?
up?
How's it going, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. We are just taking the UDL on my novel build and taking it back to UWL so that I can turn the RPM limiter on or off. Now, I know at a UDL race that is not going to fly. But for practice, for me practicing with it, I can turn that on, and it's going to be similar. It's still got quite a bit more oomph the UWL does than UDL does, but it's close. So I have another UDL that I want to go ahead and make sure that the crash is set on it. Also, the thing is
Doing good, thanks. How about yourself? Just woke up a bit early.
all right. What time is it over there? See what I'm looking for, and I've got this ORT antenna that's on it. I don't know if you can see it, if it'll focus. It might look shiny. That's because it's got E6000 on it to help it grip the slippery floor. But what I want is when this thing is sitting like this or
It's
whatever.
4:30 a.m.
I don't want it going. I saw people at I/O that whenever they hit their crash flip, the quad goes up. I mean, and sometimes they would flip completely, do a 360. They had so much power on it, and there was no. I mean, if they were like on over a cable or something, not actually where the cable was obstructing the prop, but somewhere that regular crash flip, default crash flip would not work. Turning that up will certainly give you, now it'll give you more flipping power. Give you more flipping power. It also will put you at risk of burning an ESC. So please, whenever you do that, don't be messaging me, man, I tried that and went to flip over and just fried my AIO. You can still take it easy. Anytime that you're crash flipping, you want to try to flip as easy as you can. Whether it was with as little effort as you have to get it over. And here's my red one. So I have a red one. Notice that blue light's on there, so that means if I'm going to do anything to it, I need to have it sitting in the fan. So let's make sure we got the crash flip juiced up on this. I'm going to check a couple more of my regular whoops too. If you got any questions about it. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, but Raymond, if you're on here, there is a whoop race out west. We Bleed and Nightwing, they are having a West Coast Whoop Championship. And when I get done with this, we'll pull it up and we'll actually look at it. I think it's in Sacramento. They used to do it in observance of Nightwing's birthday, but my understanding now is that it's a West Coast Whoop Championship, just like the East Coast, and just like the Southeast. We call ours Micro Drone Championship, and I do that so that people would know. I mean, I've told y'all that story. A buddy of mine saw my Whoop wagon, and he's like, "What's a Whoop?" And I thought, here I am trying to advertise this race, and I'm using lingo that most okay, so got to go. Is this UDL? This might be UDL. Get flip. There it is. Crash flip motor percentage at 0. And I'm turning the thing up. Copy. To 85. Set. Space. All of that. And give me up to 85% of my motor. If I need it. If I ask for it, up to 85% to flip that thing over. And people go, "Oh, you don't want that." Well, maybe not. But I think I do. All right, let's see. Get crash recovery. I want to make sure it's on. So what it's going to do is it's going to list here, and you got to pick which one you want. Set crash recovery off on this one. See, it's good that I checked it. Copy. So you go down here and you type set space, and then you paste that crash _ recovery off, and you backspace twice, and you just turn it on. And what this will do is when you hit a gate fast, instead of sending you into a flat spin or going real crazy, if it moves faster than the threshold speed that you've got entered, it will automatically go into angle and stop you. I left it at 10% too. I'll leave that one at 10% and see what it's like. I don't fly this one that much. This one's like my third round backup. And there we go. That is it. Does it say UDL? Nope. We know that this is UDL. Sorry guys. You know that this is UDL because it's got the bottom. It's got your boost bar in the bottom down here. So, and also for crash, I also recommend the arrow because that will help you a lot of times, telling you which way you need to crash flip out. I like clarity. Boom. All right. So let me. I didn't save presets on those others. Let me save one old red. Bang. That's saved. All right. let me grab the others and make presets to them. And then I can move along. That is all of the UDLs that I have. So I have sold quite a few of them. Let me put a preset back on Popo. That is preset. Save backup. And I name them. I don't do all the date stuff because you can tell it to sort it by date anyway. So that's UWL. So it's back to UWL. And what's the difference between UDL and UWL? It's quite a bit. It really is. UWL was UDL in its infancy, I guess is what I could say, or maybe not its infancy. It's maybe it's beta years or year or whatever. UDL is more refined. It's got speed ramping is for one of the motors. They just don't go. You can slam it from mid throttle to full throttle, and it's not going to go from. Are you at 3,500? I think it is. RPMs. You don't go if you're at half. You don't go from 1,700, whatever it is. You don't go from 17 to 35 the moment that you slam the stick all the way up. On UDL, it ramps up to that speed. Where UWL, being that that's just like standard CAC, it does when there's no ramping. When the throttle goes up just as fast as you tell it to go up. And but the things that they put in, it makes for really good racing. It, as far as having one UDO 533, yep. And as far as flying in the yard or having one to fly around in the park with igniter on it, no, it's not good for that. But it does make for good racing. I can tell you, it puts everybody in the same. You know, I could sit down at a UDL race against Evan and think, you know, or custom. You know, he's the GOAT. He's kind of won most of them. AK guys like that, and truly be like, you know, I've got a chance. I've got a chance here, because with this, if somebody screws up, just a little bobble, or they miss a gate and they got to go back, the race is so close that let me call this green. Green. There we go. All right. So it's so close. If you hear somebody like, "Oh man," or music to your ears in a UDL race, especially if you're in finals, is if you hear someone crash flipping, because unless you've screwed up badly, you know that. A lot of y'all are familiar with Johnny Scars. He comes on here quite regularly, and Johnny is fast. He's a good, fast, sharp consistent pilot. But in UDL, he's not that much faster than I am. 65 millimeter, it's unless he just really screws up, I'm not going to have much of a chance to beat him. Our skill levels just too different. But in UDL, anything can happen. You can clip. Now, of course, that can happen in any race, but it's a bobble, missing a gate and having to go back and fly it again because you just missed it or something. That could be the difference between you passing them and passing them with more than 10 or 20 foot ahead of you. If you get to watch UDL, if you can't make it out to our race at the championship, watch it online, and you'll see it. And if you go back and watch Whooptopia, you'll see that Evan had custom Noah in front of him, and he was slowly reeling him in, and he just never really reeled him all the way in before the 3 or 4 laps, whatever it was that they were running, was over. And that was the race. Evan was flying good. He didn't have, I don't think he had he had a bad start. I think he crashed right off of in the first couple of gates on lap 1. And that give Noah the lead. And Evan was slowly reeling him in. And now it looked like on the straight stretches that Noah would pull away. And, of course, y'all heard about all of that. And I don't need to go into that. That some people thought that he had different motors on his quad. And let me see if there's another 65 over here that I want to do that way. Yep, I want to do this one. And maybe that one. I know that one has it. That's my OG. Alright, yeah, I just want to do that one. Right now. So but yeah, so that's why I like UDL is it's and plus it's visually it's fun visually. When I'm racing someone that's, if they're racing it, I know we had one race one time when one of the guys showed up with a Meteor 65 Pro.
Is it common that PPL plug in on you while you racing?
No, it's not common that they plug in on me. It's common subjective. It's common to a degree. It's not as frequent as it used to be. Some races, some things you go to, it's bad. And, that, to me, that is a sign of poor leadership. If I'm running a race and that starts happening, people plugging in to people from the pits or whatever, I'll stop the race and I'll be like, hey, which we've got the video up on a projector, and I'll be like, somebody's in, whatever, in the pits and they're plugged up. Who is it? Find out who it is. And usually it's a noob, somebody like that, that's not familiar with racing and all of that. So in those situations, that's when you have a discussion. I know of situations that not happened at a race that I was at that I know of. I know I was at a race one time where somebody was threatening to do it. That I've heard of people in the winter, which when a lot of people fly whoops, um, of people putting a whoop in their pocket of their hoodie and have it on 400 milliwatts or whatever, and whenever somebody that they don't like is racing, they'll plug in. Um, One, if I catch somebody doing that, um, it's a ban. You're out. Uh, Pack your stuff and get out. Because get crash delay. Okay. Some versions want you to specify exactly what get crash used to work. See, this one's off. This is a 65 millimeter. Copy. This is the freestyle, and I hadn't changed anything on it. This is the HDzero freestyle, Mobula 6 freestyle, and I didn't change anything because when I was going to do a review of all of them together, and I got footage, but it's just way too much to even talk about editing. I just don't have the time to do it. But anyway, if somebody does something like that, that's get your stuff and get out. Don't come back, kind of stuff. And but unintentional type stuff, it happens, but nowhere near as much as it used to happen. I hope that answers your question. Look, motor percent. There we go. And it's at, where's it at? 0. So it's not that big of a problem. Usually people have learned that but I'm not going to name any names, but I've been at events where I just stopped flying. Just like, nope, I'm not taking my stuff back up. And it in that particular case, well, it's been a couple of times. In both particular cases like that, there was racing going on with a lot of freestyling, or freestyle pilots also. Well, no, there's 3 now that I think about another one. And one of them was at someone's house, and we were racing, and DJI pilots kept plugging up with that variable channel that hops around and all of that kind of stuff, and knocking people out of the air. Nub from DRL was actually at that race that I was thinking about, and he was flying in proximity of all of us with no netting and everything. He had just gotten the Racer 4 out. That was back when DRL was on TV, and he'd just gotten the Racer 4 out, that big heavy honking 7-inch, and him being a good pilot is what kept either that his practice drone getting severely damaged again, or somebody getting hurt. And all he did was he just slammed the throttle and sent the thing airborne and started yelling, "Hey, somebody's plugged up, I'm flying." And we got him to unplug quick enough, and he recovered it and started right back racing. So it does happen, but it does not happen as much as it used to. And if it's something that keeps happening, if you're at a race and it keeps happening, I would go to the person that's sitting behind the computer running the timer, because they're probably well, they'll be the first person to notice it probably, and pick it up. And generally, that person, if they're not the race coordinator or director, they're right there at it. So if you tell them, "Hey, man, somebody just keeps plugging up," every time I'm racing or something, somebody keeps plugging up. And if there's people that don't like you, or some people just get bitter, they're just some jerkwads in the world. And I've heard stories of people doing it to people at Whooptopia. And if I'm not mistaken, I've not been to Whooptopia, but I've talked quite a bit with AK, and we're trying to learn as much as we can from them about it. From my understanding, they have their RF Explorer, which is an expensive piece of equipment. They have it hooked up and projected on the wall. So if somebody's flying, let's say June, you're at let's say you're at Whooptopia, or at my one of my races, because I have it also now. It's not a cheap piece of kit, and somebody does that, it's going to show up. That RF Explorer will pick it up just as fast as your goggles will pick it up, and it'll show. Let's say if you're on race band 7, let's say you're running on race band 7 or 8, and we can see your little peak and everything, and as you're running and you get further away, all of a sudden that thing jumps up. That channel jumps up. We know that.
Sounds like an MCK problem face with rolling eyes.
It could be, yeah. I mean, I know of other fast pilots that have had it done to them also. And when you're at a race and there's money involved, you'd be surprised what people will do for $100 in prize money. They'll for sure do something like that. And some people that they wouldn't bat an eye at doing something like that. But it's going to show up, especially if they're throwing up like crazy wattage or something. The thing, well, there's a way that I've heard some people do it, and it's hard to detect, and I'm not going to go into what that is, but there is a way that some people can do that to sabotage you, and it's hard for the race directors to know it. That's why you need to find somebody and let them know.
Don't you just train harder, winking face?
That's right. Just fly harder. I'll say this: if there's somebody that you keep getting interference, now sometimes that just happens. If you're flying analog in an indoor environment with a lot of steel, a lot of metal or something, and there's multipathing, then it's normal for analog pilots to struggle, especially the more HDzero pilots there are flying alongside them. But if you, well, here's case in point, and this was done completely innocent. There's a young man at I.O. He was from one of the stands or something over there near China, but it's not in China. His name was, I want to say Anakim, because it was kind of like Anakin, little 7, 8, 9 year old kid, and he was good. He's a fast little fella, and I'm there running the whoop race, and I noticed people start complaining about race band 7. They come up to me and say, we need to change it. We need to move. We need to change the channel lineups and switch the event VRX. And the person that comes to me, they're prone to just be like, hey, we need to just stop it and change everything. I'm like, whoa, wait, hang on just a minute. I've been flying on race band 7, and I'm not having any trouble. And so give me just a second. So I started watching, and other people, we were just in qualifying, we weren't in the finals, and I was watching, other people wasn't having a problem, and then all of a sudden somebody's like, oh man, on R7, I can't see nothing. As soon as I get 10 foot away from me, I can't see nothing. And they're like, see, it's bad. There's interference with that channel. It's bad. And I was like, I don't think so. And I noticed the young man, I did not have my RF, didn't bring the right cable for my RF Explorer. Or maybe I did, just didn't have it hooked up. I don't remember what it was. Something about it. Or maybe I just didn't have anybody to run it. That was probably it. Because it really needs another person there checking it all in and all of that. And I didn't have time for that at I.O. It was primarily just me and Skip there. But anyway, long story long. I noticed the young man was flying. And it was a big language barrier there. And probably wouldn't have figured it out if it wasn't for Wordna's help. He helped out quite a bit with it. And the guys that were from there, man, they were great dudes, man. They flew halfway around the globe to come and fly whoops and race at I.O., and we wanted to make it as good an experience we could for them. And I noticed that when he brought his in and he unplugged, I asked the other guy, I said, hang on, go back over there and sit down, plug your quad up and fly around. And he's like, it's fine. I was like, okay, so it's not the building, it's not the noise floor. Somebody's stepping on you. And so then I thought, well, maybe it's this young man. And his manager, which is an adult, I asked him to come over, and I was like, is he on 25 milliwatts? And at first he didn't understand, and we, got through the language barrier and got him to understand to make sure. And he's like, he comes back, yes. It's in OSD. And Wordna starts helping him, and it's clearly in his OSD, and in beta flight, he has it set to 25 milliwatts. And well, so I was like, well, I guess that's not it. So it comes back around, and everybody's fine on F7, and then the guy who's with him, there's another guy with him, and somebody's like, oh, I can't, on R7, same thing, I can't see anything, and I noticed, okay, this guy's with them, and I let him.
Timmytron.
How's it going, Timmy? What are we preaching tonight? Well, we were working on crash flip, getting it to flip like crazy. Turned up the crash flip percentage on my UDLs and my whoops. But we're talking about people stepping on people and not realizing it, and how at I.O. that happened again. And I called the manager over, and I was like, are they using the same quad? the same whoop, and he's like, yes. And come to find out, Word and I got to talking to him. They weren't using the same exact. That one guy had his own Meteor, the Beta Air 65, and yeah, no, this will surprise you, or maybe not you, Timmy, but both of them were flying the Beta FPV Air 65. Both of them were on 25 milliwatts, and they were on the channel they were supposed to be on in beta flight. Wordna was like, all right, and I was like, well, I didn't even bring my RF Explorer out of the hotel room because I didn't have anybody to run it. At IO, we did good just to run what we did. But I had the little Immersion RC wand, and I got it out and I asked him to bring it there, and I run just with the little antenna, run it around the antenna, and it was showing around 200 to 300 milliwatts. Yes, RF Explorer it just doesn't lie. It just doesn't lie, and it does have a dedicated screen. Normally for me, but what I prefer to do, Timmy, is I prefer to have it on a separate laptop and have somebody to check that. Instead of me doing all of that during the live stream, I want the line, people working in the pit, all of that to be part. And at our race, that's how it's going to be. When the flight inspection happens, the drone inspection happens, all that's going to happen, walk through, all that happens with someone else. But anyway, so we wand it, and he was about 200 or 300 milliwatts. And we thought that it was, I've seen a broken antenna this year bleed out everywhere. And so we got it, I got the kit that has the actual UFL that you can plug it straight into it. And I handed that to Wordna, and I was like, can you take care of it? And he's like, yeah. And he come back and he's like, no, he's this guy right here. And it wasn't the young kid. It was the older guy. I forget what his name was, but he was like his VTX is, no matter what channel we put it on, it's at 300-400 milliwatts. It's just, no matter what you set it, it's just cooking. And which the Meteor 65 Air, that version of it, Air 1, I don't know, Air 1, 2, 3, whichever one it was, it's known for that. Some of the Happy models are known for that. And he didn't have another. And so I think they ended up buying one for someone because they both ended up qualifying. But it come back around again where the Anakim, the whatever is, I think I'm saying his name right, the little kid, come back around and people start screaming, oh, stepping all over me. And so I got with Wordna again, and I said, hey, handed him my meter and said, check it out again. And sure enough, he was like, this one is over 400 milliwatts. And he said, and on the, it's either really, really hot or it's 5 or 6 milliwatts. So that one went from the gambit. When you turned it down, it did change it, but there was no true 25 milliwatt. And I think they ended up borrowing a drone from somebody or buying one or something, but they were able to finish. And that was the problem. And it wasn't intentional. I don't believe at all that it was intentional. They were just trying to fly. It was frustrating to them because I was like, I'm sorry. You they were in the zippy queue and they were ready to go. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You can't run that. You're stepping on other people, and, it's your responsibility to have a quad that is actually running 25 milliwatts. So yeah. So that's one way that can happen. That and Timmy Tron's having a big race coming up in Australia. What is it in? It's not in Sydney, is it, Timmy? In September. It's going to be the first whoop race of its kind, the 13th and 14th. No, it's in Canberra. Is that how you pronounce that? But it is in Australia, correct? Or is it New Zealand? That's right, Australia. Yeah, so go out there. Have you got?
How you guys know what motors PPL using while racing?
Well, if it's 65, that's open class and they can use whatever motor they want. But on UDL, there's only a certain amount of motors that you can use. And they're 0802 19,000 kV. We allow the Beta FPV 19,500s. So, yeah, 0702s or 0802s, 65 millimeter. If you want 40,000, kV, then more power to you. Now, there's something on, and Skip and I was looking for it at the last race. I actually left the race and drove to my house and looking for it. When, if you're watching Skip, the whole time it was in my pit box. I have a RPM tack meter that's pretty doggone close. That can get you close. You can put somebody in, especially if they're running bi-blades. You can throw what I found works better is if I take a solid white, not an opaque, not a semi-transparent prop, but I take a solid white prop and pop on it. If there was a quad in question, because let's just say it was said that somebody took an 0802 28,000 kV motor, pulled the bells off of the Happy Model 0802s and slid it down over a 28,000 kV motor, and that's how they were so much faster than everybody. And if they did that, it would work. And there's really not a whole lot you can do. Besides, if you put solid white, and it's in my pit box back at church, I tried 4 or 5 different RPM tachometers, and the one I have seems to work the best. You put solid white props on it, and you hook it up to Betaflight, and you run the motor up to 50%, and you should be, and give it a second or two, and you should be about at half of the RPM that you should be at full throttle, unless they've got a crazy curve on it. But you can see that in Betaflight. You can go in and look and see if they got some kind of crazy curve or whatever, throttle curve. But that's one way to tell. You could tell them, run it up, just blip it up to full throttle as you're actually holding the meter on it, and it'll tell you, it'll get close. If you're supposed to be at 3,500 RPMs and they do that and it's spinning 6,000, 5,000, somebody's messing with something. So, Timmy, you're on Discord, which I know you have my stuff. If you have a flyer for your race, and you're able to, zip that over to me in the Discord, and I'll pull it up on the screen and show everybody. Because I'm about to talk about the West Coast Whoop Championship. Weebleeds, West Coast. Tickets are on sale for that now. Let me share my screen right here. Here we go. West Coast Whoop Championship. Look at there. I like that sun. I like that sun. It's starting to be something that's catching on. We have that in our logo. But let's see here. It's October the 11th and 12th. It is in Sacramento, California. It's a 2-day event. Saturday qualify, Sunday finals. It's a 1S 65 millimeter ducted whoops only. So it's kind of whoop open class. And it's sponsored by Weebly, Gym Fan, and Beta FPV. And I guess that's Damage. And so, yeah. I know Raymond, it's sent to Discord. All right, cool. That's the Outrun Synthwave Sun. Okay, I've seen it in a lot of artwork. Skip recommended it on our t-shirts, and I was actually working on some of them today. So yeah, tickets are on sale right now for the West Coast. So you guys out there on the West Coast, June, that's out there in your area. I think it's Raymond Carrera. I think it's out there in your area also. So yeah, go out there and sign up for that. Buy your tickets at. What I recommend is buy your tickets now, and if something comes up. Now, don't wait to the week of the race to cancel or anything like that. Just, but if you think you might want to go, I would get my tickets. That's what I'm trying to say. I'd get my tickets now, and I'm trying to get it centered, but I guess that's about as good as I'm going to get. So, yep, that's the first ever in my. Now, I know they've had races out there that's been also around, and this is in, I guess it's in honor of Nightwing's birthday. Yeah, aka also known as Nightwing's birthday race. That's what it says right there.
Myopic.
So, how's it going, Britt? Glad to have you guys in the chat. Let me get up. Or on the stream. So, if you would, take all of your frustration out on, well, we can't on this, can we? How about now? Take all of your frustration out on that there for me while I am right here. Let's... All right. The official TinyWhoop Australia Championship, September 13th, 14th of 2025. There you go. I guess this is Jesse all the way out. Is that Jeff? All the way. And everybody in between. So if you're in Australia, go out. Show up, support this stuff, guys. This is what it's all about. So go on out to that, and Timmy, maybe before this, if you get time, maybe I could have you on the channel one Tuesday or Thursday night, and you talk a little bit about what you guys are doing over there and so forth. They're all local pilots except for Jesse P on the far left. Okay. Live stream should be going for Friday and Saturday evenings. If you've not subscribed, then subscribe. If you like track time or
7
trackside,
hours drive.
7 hours drive to Sacramento. Well, that's about how far it was to IO. But 64 pilots. It's a big roster. Yeah. See, we're only doing 48 on ours. Whoop event that runs 4 up. So yeah, you're gonna be running through them. So yeah. How's it going, Brett? Which is, I would be amiss if I didn't pull up our what's it called? Facebook. Yeah. We are having ours, which I guess you guys are all familiar with that. Come on. Right here. There we go. This is ours. It's the Southeast Micro Drone Racing Championship. And this is a 3-day event that will be 75 75 millimeter UDL race will be Sunday. We will start qualifying for 65 millimeter on Friday afternoon. We're going to have a grill and chill event for supper, where the pilots will be treated to burgers and dogs by Middle Tennessee Drone Racing, and then we can go up to midnight qualifying and practicing and all of that. So tickets are on sale for this. You can either send them to my PayPal, there's a link here, or you can send them to Cash App, or they're also on sale at 533. So you can go on to 533 and look up tickets, and you will see that. And you can go on to the Facebook here, the Facebook. You can go onto this Facebook page and come out to this. We are talking, definitely talking cash to podium positions. I don't know for sure yet. Depends on how many sponsors we get. But we are talking, not a check. We're talking real cash money in the hands of the winners at this race. So, and more than just $25. So, yeah. So come on out to that. Go out to if you're able to, come to our event, go to the West Coast event, and go to Timmy Tron's event in Australia. If you have that kind of money, just go to all of them. And if you have that kind of money, leave me a big super chat while you're at it, and join the channel. Because I wished I had that kind of money that I could just go. Timmy has helped me so much with trackside, that if there was any way possible that I could afford to go and could afford to be away from my family that long, I have a handicapped daughter, I would love to go. Australia is one of the places that really want to go to before I get too old to enjoy it. So yeah, come on out to that. And we got the West Coast, we got the Southeast, and we got the Australian, all going on in September and October. We have got some killer racing happening. Jump on. 14 hours from LAX to Sydney. Yeah, one of my deacons, his wife I was her youth pastor, and I did their wedding, and they honeymooned in Australia. They actually spent, I think it was 3 weeks, and they went almost all the way around Australia. It's just so much different. And is DJI able to race? Generally, no.
Is GO4 Lite able to race?
Generally,
Allowed.
yeah. Generally, the answer is no. And I'll tell you why. One is the sponsors that I'm getting. One of the things that they want is they want it to be live streamed, because they want me to be putting their logos up on the live stream and putting it up on the
Man.
all of
It's
that.
janky to get the video feed into your racing software.
Yes. The video, that's the biggest problem. You can get the Cosmo Crater thing, and Evan and Mondo have done that. It's expensive. I think just the license alone, without building the because you got to have a physical box. I think the license is like $170 or something like that for it. And we had a guy show up at our last race with Walk Snail, and he was actually in the chat last week. Scott, if you're lurking, he came, and we tried to let him run, and I was finally able to adjust and get it to where it was reading accurate laps for him. But whenever he got near another pilot where they were sitting, they would lose video. And he, I don't know for sure. I know that Skip was working with him. They were looking into seeing if he was in the race band thing. Well, I know he was on the right channel, because I did have my RF Explorer plugged up, and he was in the right area. But whenever he would plug up, there would just be periodic wild spikes just way off on other channels. And it's, from what I understand, it's not supposed to be doing that. But when he didn't have it on, we didn't have those problems. And when he did have it on, we had those problems. So that's why I say it's unlikely that, especially at a big race that's got sponsors and they're going to want to see it on a live stream, generally that answer's no. And I just don't think the technology, well, I know the technology's there, but the hobby hasn't caught up with it. And as a race coordinator and a chapter organizer, this stuff, to be able to run a race, it's not cheap. A timer is going to cost you, a decent timer is going to cost you at least $200 to $700 for a timer, about $600 for an event VRX. And
It's supposed to be a lot better with race mode, and whilst it's not technically impossible, it just adds a lot more complications to manage effectively.
right. Well, see, I had never, Timmy, you're 100% right with that. I had never run in to it firsthand. I could see on the RF Explorer that his video was where it was supposed to be and was in the range that it was supposed to be. But there was these spikes. I mean, it didn't look like a wide, Timmy knows this, and anybody that has any experience with the RF Explorer, digital signals
I can see it
comes up.
already. DJI blowing everyone out, lol.
Yeah, and and it just ends up frustrating people, and frustrating the pilot who's flying the DJI or the Walk Snail, and it's frustrating to the people who happen to be in a heat with them. We ended up just letting because it was Scott's first race. We just ended up letting him run some heats by himself, and that's what we did with him. But if it was head to head, it just wouldn't have been able to work. And we're not. That was at the church, and we're not in a RF noisy environment. So yeah, it supposed to work, but whenever he was plugged up, there was just spikes.
I'm going to be playing with one tonight to try and add it into my stream setup, but I'll only be able to accommodate one pilot on one channel.
Yeah,
Many who joined us with G eventually switched to analog.
yeah, yeah. It's just part of it right now. It's where we're at right now, and right now it doesn't look like that there's going to be much change with DJI in the U.S. So yeah, it's unfortunate, June, but is the newbie drone Hummingbird, is it still $89 or $99? If it is, that is a good little 65 millimeter quad. It's analog, but the VTX on those Hummingbirds on newbie drone, man, they stay about where they're supposed to be put. So I mean, you're looking at $60 for a ticket. So if you can scrounge up another $80 to $100 and pick you up a little analog, it would be worth it, man. Go out, especially if there's not been whoop racing in your area, go out and support it. Even if you don't have anything to fly, what Scott ended up doing before he left is he bought a 65 millimeter analog. He was just like, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. I want to be able to run through this. And Skip, working for 533 and all of that. I don't know if it was a 533 unit, or I think it was maybe just one that he had. I think it was used. And he made a deal with him, and Skip bound it all to his radio and everything. And he was flying analog before the night was over. And, of course, then we switched over. About the time he's getting good and settled in with it, we switched over to UDL. So, yep, that's how it goes. So, all right, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, making it out to the stream. Look up these races on Facebook and different places. If nothing else, go out there, if you see We Bleed, you see Jim Fan, you see, you see We Bleed, you see Jim Fan and Beta FPV, message them on Facebook or something. When you're sitting around just scrolling through or whatever, looking at what's new, just send them a message and say, thank you for sponsoring the Southeast Micro Drone Championship. Thank you for sponsoring the West Coast Whoop Championship. Thank you for sponsoring I don't know what.
Is there still pilots flying stab mode thinking face?
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna tell on him. I don't know if he still. I think he still does it. Philoblasta. I think he still races whoops in angle. So. And if it makes you there's nothing in the rule book against it. And it wasn't that long ago to where the majority of your fast pilots weren't flying acro. I think, was it Skittles? It was Skittles. I think he was one of the late adopters into racing in acro. Now, I've always liked to race in acro. So as a race director, I build courses that takes the advantage of angle, at least one or two elements that will take that advantage away, and not put them at a disadvantage, but it levels the playing field, in my opinion. So, but yeah, go out, support these things, guys. Support guys like Timitron and Nightwing and AK, Jesse, and Jeff. These people that are pushing these whoop races, and and helping this get out there, because I'm still in the camp that I believe that more people come into our hobby via micro drones of some kind. This or an 85 millimeter, something like that. Something smaller than 5-inch. I believe the majority of people that end up getting into this hobby, they come in through the little ones. And I know some of you are looking at the same thing that I just realized, and I changed it real quick at the race. I lost a prop, and I've got one prop that's a totally different color. That will be fixed before the next race, because it doesn't affect how it flies. It just affects my brain. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank you for the super chats. I want to thank you for the memberships. If you have not already, smash that like button. Take all of your daily frustrations out on the like button. Give it a thumbs up. Well, let me see. I was telling somebody about this last night. Let's see if it still does it.
Later, all stay safe.
Yeah, I don't know if it will. Does it still do that? I don't know what that's through. Is that? No. All right. But yes, good morning, Apache, and you have a good day. And thank you, everybody. Thank you for your. If you have not subscribed, would you think about it? That's kind of like leaving a tip for me. The content's free. It doesn't cost you anything to come on here and watch it, and it's free. So the least you could do is throw a thumbs up for me. And subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, keep flying and rise up and meet me in the air.